It's been just shy of 1,500 days since Michigan women's basketball last beat Iowa, but times have changed, and the Wolverines are ready for the challenge. It's the third straight year the Wolverines have made it to the semifinals, yet they've never played on Championship Sunday. Will today be the day they get over the hump, or will Iowa get a chance to play for its fifth Big Ten title in the last 8 years? Live from Indianapolis, it's the Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament semifinals on WCBN Sports. Jake Lancer and Andrew Pipta here to bring you the second game of the day, featuring the 2-seed Iowa Hawkeyes and the 3-seed Michigan Wolverines. We welcome you into Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where we have a heavyweight bout between two top 10 teams. Andrew, so excited to be here with you today for what's going to be a really fun one. Let's start by talking about last night. First, Iowa taking down Illinois by a score of 64-58, moving to the semifinals for the sixth time in the last 8 seasons. How did Iowa get it done last night?
Well, first off, it was an incredible defensive performance. They held Illinois to just 33% from the field, just absolutely shutting down some of their best players, particularly Sierra Parchment, the freshman, who's held to her lowest scoring outing in the entire season with only 2 points in 4 quarters. It was just an incredible performance on that end. And then you had 4 players scoring double figures for this Iowa team, led by Ava Hayden, their star with 16. The last time they had 4 players score in double figures was a win over Purdue on February 19th. It was just an incredible showing on both sides of the ball in a complete game.
Michigan played in the later window, won 80-58 over the 11-seed Oregon, earning its 25th win of the season, tying the second most wins in a single season in program history. Mila Holloway led the team in assists with a career-high 10. How was Michigan able to really distribute the ball last night?
Well, it was ball movement. It was playing through some of their stars like Olivia Olson, Sol Fulcanic, who had an incredible game in the low post. And just Holloway was just able to find them for easy opportunities, and she had an incredible game distributing the ball through that.
Well, these two teams did play just a couple of weeks ago in Iowa City. It was senior day, and the Hawkeyes had their way with the Wolverines. Iowa won 62-44. We listened to the presser last night after Michigan took down Oregon, and Coach KBA made a big point of saying, only 2 people on Michigan's team had played at Iowa before that game. It's tough anywhere on the road, but especially at Carver Hawkeye Arena. How is that environment just different?
It's because this is a program that, has, since the turn of the 21st century, have been a really impactful in the world of women's sports, especially in recent years with stars like Caitlin Clark coming into town. And this Iowa Hawkeyes team, even last night, walking in the stadium, getting ready to set up, we were watching that Iowa-Illinois game, and it was electric for a crowd that, they travel so well. They love the sport of basketball there in Iowa, and I think that just goes to show, for a neutral site game with that much energy, just think about it in the home crowd, how incredible that atmosphere is.
Michigan scored a season-low 44 points in Iowa City. Turned it over 24 times. Iowa capitalized that into 21-6 points off turnover margin. Looking at today's game, what does Michigan have to do differently this time around to punch its first ever ticket to the Big Ten Tournament Championship game? Well,
Kim Bartarico had a really interesting thing to say about guarding Ava Hayden. She noted that for the first 3 quarters of that game, they really contained her. They thought she thought that they did a really good job at slowing her down, but it was in that 4th quarter where Iowa just threw a knockout punch, outscoring Michigan 20-9. And you saw it for this entire game for 4 quarters. You have to be super active. You have to be physical. You have to be you can't be reactive on the rotation. You have to be pre-active and just shut down this Iowa offense that really likes to orchestrate from the low post, but also has some incredible shooters there in Iowa. It's going to be a tough task, 100%, but I think after that game last night against Oregon, I think that this Michigan team does have what it takes to slow down this Iowa offense.
A lot more to get into here from Indy, but first we will take a break for starting lineups in the national anthem, and then we'll be back for tip-off shortly after here on WCBN. Stay with us. We welcome you back inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, just about to get underway. And, you know, Andrew, we were just talking about the crowd here being pretty pro-Iowa. I'd be inclined to call it an Iowa home game, but I want to go more into that point. Right before this game, we saw UCLA punch its ticket to the championship game. They were taking on Ohio State. A lot of Ohio State fans in the building as well. They're staying around for this game. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I don't think Ohio State fans are going to be cheering on Michigan, so that just sort of adds to the task here today for the Wolverines.
You know, you got to love a good hate watch, and you got to appreciate the Ohio State fans, at least for coming out. You know, they want to see – they don't want to be the only losers in that rivalry when it comes to tonight. They want to make sure Michigan goes down with them, you know. You know, Captain must go down with the chip, but, you know, for Ohio State, they're taking down the entire crew as well. So it's really going to be another added, added fun thing that they can kind of stick it to the Ohio State fans, just like the University of Miami did last night to Ohio University, if you're catching that game.
Wolverines in the all-navy, Iowa in the all-whites. Michigan wins the tip. Mila Holloway has it at the top of the key to start things off. Now on the wing, Silas Swords gets a screen from Olivia Olson, tries to feed it inside. It'll be an off-ball screen. Michigan basketball coming up. Starting lineups today for your Wolverines: Silas Swords, Mila Holloway, Olivia Olson, Ashley Sofakanik, and Brooke Corals-Daniels. Baseline inbound for the Wolverines. Olson lobs it out to Holloway at the top of the key. Olson trying to get open off ball. Instead, they go to the right wing. Silas Swords gets a screen from Brooke Corals-Daniels, driving into the lane at the free throw line, picks up her dribble, kicks it out. Corals-Daniels drives it in, feeds it to a cutting Olson. Loose ball, fighting for it in the corner. It goes out of bounds. It'll be off of Olivia Olson. Iowa basketball. Starters for the Hawkeyes: Chit Chat Wright, Ava Hayden, Taylor Stremlo, Kylie Fierbach, and Hannah Stolke. These two teams tied for second place in the Big Ten, but as Iowa won the head-to-head just a couple weeks ago, Wolverines are the 3 seed, Iowa the 2 seed. Michigan 8th in the nation in the AP poll, Iowa 9th. Hawkeyes basketball. Top of the key, Stolke swings it over. Stremlo driving in the right elbow, pulls it out, feeds it inside to Hayden, working on Sofakanik, going up and scoring. 2-0 Hawkeyes lead after the early bucket from Ava Hayden, the first team All-Big Ten center. Michigan basketball, Brooke Corals-Daniels has it at the top of the key. Hawkeyes backing off her, giving her a lot of space, had no points last time she faced Iowa. Holloway has it on the left wing, pulls a 3, off the mark, bounced off the front rim, rebound hauled in by Fierbach. Hawkeyes bringing it up the floor on the left wing, it's Wright, swings it. Fierbach bounces it inside to Hayden, poked out by Sofakanik. Olson has it for the Wolverines, and here they come. Mila Holloway driving into the paint, pulling it out, slowing things down. Olivia Olson driving off the wing, bounces it back to Holloway. Another 3 try for Holloway, no good. Loose ball rebound, Swords tried to get it, but the Hawkeyes have it, and here comes Iowa. Taylor Stremlo on the right wing, Corals-Daniels on her. Picks up her dribble, feeds it inside. Hayden going up again and scoring. 4 points for Iowa, all from Ava Hayden. Mila Holloway bounces it, top of the key, Olivia Olson. Fierbach on her. Some off-ball action. Olson waits, kicks it to the corner. Silas Swords pulls it out on the right wing, now driving into the paint. Swings it, short corner jumper, off the mark for Corals-Daniels. Rebound hauled in by Chit Chat Wright. Hawkeyes have a 3-on-2. The three-pointer, it's pure. Taylor Stremlo. And just like that, the Hawkeyes lead 7-0 with 7:30 on the clock, coming out with their foot on the gas. Olivia Olson, top of the key. Gets a screen from Sofakanik, picks up her dribble, swings it right wing, Corals-Daniels. Now Swords in the corner, pulls a 3, off the front iron. Rebound hauled in by Chit Chat Wright. She'll slow things down and bring it up the floor for the Hawkeyes. Stremlo on the right wing, bounces it down into the block. Hayden getting double teamed, tried to pass it out. It'll be a foul on the Wolverines on Sofakanik. Teola Del Foss will check into the game for Brooke Corals-Daniels, trying to get Michigan some more height, Andrew.
Yeah, and a thing, too, is the spacing. They were really leaving Corals-Daniels and Sofakanik on islands on the outside, really collapsing on the Michigan sophomore trio.
They bounce it inside, going up and finishing once again is Ava Hayden. She has 6 of Iowa's 9 points here. The 3 try from Olson at the top of the key just rims out. Unlucky. Loose ball under the hoop. Body's on the floor. It'll be a jump ball. Ashley Sofakanik was down there for Michigan. Couple of Hawkeyes. It'll be Iowa basketball as Kendall Dudley will check into the game for Ashley Sofakanik. Couple of subs early here for Michigan with Dudley and Del Foss on the floor. Full court pressure from the Wolverines as Taylor Stremlo brings up the floor, runs into a double team, passes it up ahead. Hannah Stolke brings it across half court, driving into the paint. They kick it out. The 3 try off the mark for Kylie Fierbach. Wolverines have the rebound as they push the pace. Mila Holloway at the top of the key, driving in the left lane, tried to kick it into the corner to Silas Swords. Passes off the mark. It'll be Iowa basketball. Wolverines still scoreless. 6:30 remains in the first quarter. Iowa basketball, 9-0 lead. On the right wing, going all the way is Stolke.
Ooh.
She gets blocked. It'll be off of the Hawkeyes. Big play from Olivia Olsen, Michigan ball.
She's the tallest player in the court right now and just playing incredible paint defense there, just shutting down any offense.
Holloway brings it up the floor for the Wolverines. Hands it off to Olsen at the top of the key. Gets a screen from Dudley. Driving down the right lane. Pulls up. The mid-range falling away is good. Big shot. First bucket of the game for the Wolverines. It's 9-2. Michigan continues the full court pressure. Taylor Stremlow working it up the floor with Hannah Stolke. Stolke has it on the left wing. Feeds it inside to Hayden. Going up. Can't finish over Dudley. Had the size mismatch. Looks like Dudley got knocked in the face. She's still down. 4-on-5. Wolverines don't have the numbers. They have not stopped the game. And now there's a timeout as Dudley is able to get up. Looks like she might have taken an elbow to the face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just think it's really interesting, this adjustment really early into the game. You would think that Michigan really wants to, get bigger, and keep Sulfacanic on the floor. But it seems like the strategy right now is to play small ball, try and get some threes up, try and get, fix this issue that we saw early on with the spacing. There was a problem where, when you're playing Brooke Quarles-Daniels, who's really a shooter, Sulfacanic is a low post player, Jake. You can't really break this zone that Iowa runs, and that's going to be key. I wanted before the game, we didn't have much time, but I really wanted to emphasize how important it's going to be to get Silas Swords going in the off ball and get her some opportunities from three, because if they aren't able to space the floor out, that won't open up the rest of the game with this zone. So I think that this is a really welcome adjustment for the Michigan team, and it'll be really interesting to see how they guard this double big lineup from Iowa.
They stopped the game to review when Dudley got hit in the face to see if it was flagrant. Ends up being called incidental. Ava Hayden had 24 points, 10 rebounds against Michigan last time. A lot of those points came in the fourth quarter, actually. She's coming out pretty hot this time around. Already has 6 of their 9.
Yeah, and she was dicing Sulfacanic up, who had a pretty good outing last night defensively against Atute and that Oregon offense that really likes to funnel it through her in the post. And I think that's just, Hayden is such a talented scorer, has incredible touch, incredible footwork, can really just beat you so many different ways from inside the arc. She's so talented. I mean, last night she was 6 of 7 from the field, over 90% true shooting. And again, that's a stat that emphasizes, the threes are harder to take than twos. And to have such a impressive advanced statistic like that shows you just how talented and how incredible she is when she's on her game.
Hawkeyes return to the Big Ten Tournament semifinals for the first time since they won the whole thing in 2024. Iowa 4-0 all-time against Michigan in the Big Ten Tournament. They've had success in the tournament overall. They've won 4 of the last 7 tournament titles. Last year falling to Ohio State in the quarterfinals, but recently having a lot of success.
Yeah, I mean, again, that just goes to show you, especially recently, how impressive this program has been. And again, this is a team that's also, we're 2 years out from the incredibly great Lisa Blunder retiring at the end of the 23-24 season. And Jane Jensen, she was, hired internally. She's been with the program for over 24 years before she took over as head coach. And, I think that was an incredible hire. And it just goes to show you, the program that has been built up at Iowa.
Michigan basketball after the break. On the left wing, Mila Holloway gets a screen from Kendall Dudley. Driving down the right lane, pulls it back out, kicks it to Silas Swords at the top of the key. She pauses. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Swords kicks it to the corner. It's Olsen. Short corner jumper, no good. Loose rebound, hauled in by Fierbach. Here come the Hawkeyes. 5:20 left in the quarter. On the right wing, Taylor Stremlow surveying. Feeds it to the free throw line. Stolke looking for an outlet. Gets it to Wright on the opposite wing. Chit-chat Wright, swings it. Fierbach, top of the key, Olsen on her. Gets a screen from Hayden. Pulls up to the free throw line, bounces it out. From the elbow, the shot no good from Hayden. Rebound Olivia Olsen. Passes it up ahead. Mila Holloway driving down the left wing. Pulls up mid-range off the back iron. Rebound, Stulke, Iowa basketball. Hawkeyes haven't scored the last 2 minutes, 15 seconds. See if they can change it up here on this possession. At the elbow, it's Stremlo. Trying to pass it out. Almost got stolen away by Kendall Dudley. It'll be retained by Kylie Fierbach. Stremlo has it on the left wing. Bounces it to the free throw line. Stulke, some give and go action. The jumper from Stremlo's good. 11-2 Hawkeyes lead. 4:20 left in the quarter. In the corner, it's Teala Delfoss driving down the baseline, tried to go through the legs, got poked out by Stulke. Another Michigan turnover. Third of the game. It's Iowa basketball. Chit-chat Wright at the top of the key. Bounces it over. Driving inside is Fierbach. Pulls it out, gives it to Stremlo. Stremlo at the free throw line, stepping through, going up, couldn't finish, tried to scoop it in. Olivia Olsen has it, bringing it up the floor for Michigan. Driving down the lane, kicks it out. Holloway thought about the three, instead goes to the corner. It's Teala Delfoss. Gets a screen from Holloway. Delfoss going all the way, lost it going up. Another Michigan turnover. Taylor Stremlo brings up the floor for the Hawkeyes. Now Chit-chat Wright on the right wing. Sends it into the elbow. It's Stulke. Dribble handoff, Stremlo. Now Wright at the top of the key. Gets a screen from Hayden. Dribbles in, pulls up. It's pure. 13-2 Hawkeyes lead. As the mid-range has been a friend of Iowa so far. Crowd getting loud for the Hawkeyes. On the right wing, Mila Holloway has it. Bounces it inside. Olivia Olsen fading away from the elbow. She'll get fouled. Count the bucket. Chance for extra points at the free throw line for Olivia Olsen.
That was so nasty. Incredible mid-range work there from Olivia Olsen. This has been a really slow start for Michigan offensively, but she has shown up for this Michigan team, and what a bucket there.
Olsen this past week averaging just under 30 points per game in a pair of Michigan victories. Had 16 points against Oregon in the win. Unable to connect on the free throw that time. 13-4 Iowa leads. On the wing, it's Fierbach. Into the game for the Hawkeyes, the freshman Addie Deal for Michigan, Macy Brown. Deal has it at the free throw line. Pulls it back out now on the right wing, picks up her dribble, trying to feed it inside. It's stolen by Olivia Olsen. Wolverines push it ahead. Mila Holloway driving, spinning, going up, can't finish. Good defense from Kylie Fierbach, two-time Big Ten all-defensive team. It makes sense.
Yeah, and I think she is just another piece of this incredible Iowa defense that has really just shut down an incredible Michigan offense.
Wolverines inbound it into the corner. Silas Swords airballs a three, too strong that time. Deal has the rebound for Iowa. She brings it up the floor. Now Fierbach on the left wing. Macy Brown on her. Bounces it inside. Stulke pulls it out. Picks up her dribble right on the arc. Kicks it out. Wright has it, top of the key. Slowing things down. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Gets a screen off the right wing. Runs into the wall of Kendall Dudley. Feeds it inside to Stulke. She goes up over two defenders. Can't finish. Olivia Olsen has the rebound, tipped to her by Kendall Dudley. Olsen driving coast to coast, picks up her dribble on the block, kicks it out. Silas Swords open three, top of the key, no. Here come the Hawkeyes once again. Michigan 0 for 5 from beyond the arc to start this one, similar to last night's three-point struggles. At the free throw line, bounced in, trying to connect with Stulke. Some sloppy basketball for both sides these past couple of plays, some turnovers. Michigan basketball. Top of the key, Mila Holloway hands it off to Olivia Olsen coming off a screen. It'll be an offensive foul on Mila Holloway. Iowa basketball. Just a minute, 26 seconds remains in this first quarter. Wolverines only scored 4 points to Iowa's 13. talked about it in the intro. Michigan scored a season low 44 in Iowa City, and it seems like it'll be another defensive slugfest today. On the wing, it's Fierbach. Bounces it over across the court. It's Chit-Chat Wright driving into the paint. The floater's no good. Rebound hauled in by Journey Houston. She swings it to the fellow freshman Addie Deal. Her three is no good. Olivia Olson brings it up the floor. Feeds it inside. Kendall Dudley working around the paint. Can't finish over Stolke. Loose ball out of bounds. They call it off of Iowa. Iowa bench not a fan of that, and now they actually reverse the call. Hawkeyes basketball.
Yeah, I mean, it looked over here, too, like that was Macy Brown touching the ball last,
Yep.
But call was fixed, and now it's Iowa basketball.
53.6 remains in the quarter. About a 23-second difference between shot and game clock. Chit-Chat Wright, pick and roll action with Stolke, passes intercepted. Wolverines pushing the pace on the other end. Mila Holloway 1-on-2 splitting defenders, had the lay and just couldn't finish. Out of bounds, Iowa ball once again. Wolverines won for their last 9.
Yeah, just a really inefficient start to the game. This is not how Michigan needs to start. They really needed to get out, go fast, and really get a lot of buckets here and keep pace with Iowa.
Ava Hayden back into the game for the Hawkeyes. About a 9-second difference between shot and game clock. 25 seconds left in the quarter. Ava Hayden has it on the right wing, hands it off to Wright at the free throw line, driving down the right lane, kicks it out. Fierbach back to Wright on the left wing. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Cross-court pass. Fierbach, a wide-open three. Rims out. Loose ball. Hayden tried to get the rebound. It goes to Silas Swords. 5 seconds. Holloway passes it up ahead. Olsen at the buzzer. No. Still a little bit of time left on the clock, and that will do it. As there was a loose ball chase down. Kendall Dudley ran over an Iowa player, but it was after the buzzer. No foul called. At the end of the first, Iowa 13, Michigan 4.
Yeah, and Michigan 1 for their last 10, 0 for their last 6. They have not scored a point since 3 minutes left in the quarter. But there was something I noticed, Jake, when I was watching this team. They looked a lot more comfortable when they were forcing turnovers, which they do lead in points off turnovers. But they also looked way more comfortable when they were pushing pace. When their offense is in full court, not allowing this Iowa zone to set up and get established, they look a lot more comfortable. They're getting a lot more opportunities, especially at the rim. The issue is that those opportunities haven't fallen yet. So I do think that this is something that can be replicated for the next 3 quarters and be really successful for Michigan. It's just that you got to make your buckets. They just have to fall. You need to see them go through the hoop.
Olivia Olson has all of Michigan's 4 points, Andrew. Who else needs to step up to get back into this ball game?
Well, it's going to be the other 2 really important sophomore guards here, Silas Swords and Holloway. Holloway having another poor shooting performance from the field. She didn't score until the 4th quarter. And Silas Swords is 0 for 2, and she's only taken 2 threes this entire game. And she's someone that when her shot is falling, it is falling. I mean, in her freshman year, I covered a game where I think she went 0 for 8 from the field for the first 3 quarters. In that 4th quarter, in a close game, she came alive, finished with double-digit points off of 4 threes in a row. When she is on fire from beyond the arc, there is not a single person who can stop her. And so in order for Michigan, I feel, to kind of punch right back, which they'll have to get points fast. You can't let this snowball from here. These 2 are going to have to step up and make their shots and have them fall. That's going to be really important for the next 3 quarters.
Shooting was an issue for the Wolverines when these 2 played earlier in the season. just 30.5% from the field. In that one, Wolverines shooting 13% in that first quarter. Assume that that'll go up as start to get a bit more settled here, but for now, Wolverines got to get something going on offense. Both teams back out onto the floor for the Wolverines. It's Dudley, Brown, Swords, Olsen, and Holloway. For the Hawkeyes, Stremlo, Wright, Hayden, Fierbach, and Stulke. Silas Swords has it on the right wing, pulls a three. Cash! Big shot from Silas Swords, her first bucket of the game. 13-7. Full court press, the Wolverines steal it. Mila Holloway takes it away from Stremlo. She drives up, another missed layup from Mila Holloway. She tried to get the ball back and rip it out of Stremlo's hands. They call a jump ball as the Iowa bench thought it was a reach-in. Instead, it's a jump. Iowa has the arrow, but some physicality out of Michigan to start this quarter.
And I love that, bringing that full court press, which they used last night in the, to open up the third against Oregon, forcing a turnover, and then again, more physical basketball.
Full court press here. Iowa has to get it in. They do. Journey Brown, Houston inbounds it to Taylor Stremlo. Hawkeyes turn it over once again. Stremlo tried to pass it up ahead. It's intercepted. Wolverines have it. Corals Daniels just checked into the game. She has it at the elbow. Kicks it out to Silas Swords. Now top of the key. Swords pulls another three. Bang! Silas Swords. Back-to-back buckets. Just like that, three-point game. 13-10 Hawkeyes lead. Wolverines stay in the full court press. This time the Hawkeyes do break it. Stremlo has it. Now on the left wing, it's Wright. Swords on her. Wright bounces it into the elbow. Hayden working on self-volcanic. Going up, can't finish. Rebound, hauled in. Journey Houston has it, goes back up and fouled. It'll be free throws for the freshman.
4 quick rebounds in her 4 minutes of play for this Iowa team. You know, that's something that's really important, especially because this Michigan team, while a little smaller, is really good at getting boards. So for her to come in and get an offensive rebound, go in the line here, that's really important.
First free throw good for Houston, shooting around 71% from the line. One more coming up. It's good. 15-10 Iowa lead. Houston checks out. Hannah Stulke returns. Some more size on the floor for the Hawkeyes as Brooke Corals-Daniels brings it up the floor for Michigan. On the right wing, feeds it inside. Self-Volcanic has it on the block, spinning, going up, and finishing over Hayden. Crafty move that time from the junior. Iowa ball trying to break this press, still behind half court. They get it up ahead to Chit Chat Wright. A three from past NBA range. Oh, Chit Chat Wright. She doesn't take many threes, but she's shooting 46% from beyond the arc. She just drained one. 18-12 Iowa lead. Olivia Olsen puts one up from the free throw line. No good. Hayden has the rebound. Iowa brings it across half court. On the right wing, Taylor Stremlo. Now Chit Chat Wright. Top of the key. Gives it to Fierbach. Swords on her. Surveying. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Stulke feeds it inside to Hayden. Hayden passes it out. Stremlo has it. And it looks like Coach KBA is going to call a timeout. No. 3 in the key. Michigan basketball after the Iowa turnover. 7th of the game for the Hawkeyes. 18-12, 7:45 on the clock. Corals-Daniels has it at the left elbow. Gives it to Olsen coming off a screen. The jumper from the free throw line is good. Another bucket for Olivia Olsen. 6 of the Wolverines' 14. They go back to the press. They trapped Stremlo on the sideline, end up bumping her. It'll be a foul on Olivia Olsen, her first. 18-14, Wolverines back off from the press. Chit Chat Wright brings it up the floor. Corals-Daniels on her tight. at the Big Ten logo, gets a screen from Hayden, runs into Sofilcanic, now double teamed at half court, lobs it up, able to connect with Stolke. Stolke has it at the elbow, feeds it across the paint. Hayden will go up and get fouled. Free throws coming up for the first team All Big Ten center.
And that adjustment, they go to the full court press, Iowa just looks a lot more uncomfortable trying to run the offense in this full court. And it's something that's been really effective all season for Michigan, and especially right now.
Mila Holloway returns to the game for Michigan. Silas Swords will get a breather. One for two at the line for Hayden. 19-14 Hawkeyes lead. Holloway has it. Hands it off to Olsen on the Big Ten tournament logo. Bounces it onto the elbow. Corals Daniels hands it off to a cutting Holloway. Now Olsen on the left wing. Dribbles in the mid-range. No good off the front iron. Fierbach has the board. Wolverines still in a bit of a full court press after the missed shot. I was able to bring it up the floor. Chit Chat Wright has it on the right wing. Corals Daniels on her. Looking for a screen. Wright gets one from Hayden. Swings it over to Fierbach. Now at the top of the key, it's Stremlo. Dumps it inside. Hayden, 3 Wolverines on her. Stripped out of her hands by Corals Daniels. Loose ball on the ground. Still pinballing around. Somehow Macy Brown has it. Here come the Wolverines in transition. Corals Daniels feeds a cutting Olsen in an easy lay-in for Michigan. Chaotic sequence ends up in a Michigan bucket. 19-16, 8 Hawkeye turnovers now. On the other end, Iowa breaks the press. Under the hoop, Hayden kicks it out. Stolke, now Stremlo. Hawkeyes will slow things down. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Feed it inside to Stolke. She will get fouled trying to position in the paint. It'll be on the floor. On Sofilcanic, her second. And it looks like Sofilcanic might be getting a breather after the second foul. She will. Kendall Dudley checks in for Michigan. For Iowa, Addie Deal returns to the game for Chit Chat Wright.
Really interesting how Michigan's really focused on shutting down Stolke. She's only 0 for 2 on the game, and she had a double-double against Michigan the last time out, so it's really interesting to see that adjustment.
Silas Swords and Tayola Del Foss also return to the game. Inbound pass is deflected, goes all the way across half court. They're going to say it wasn't touched by Michigan. Fierbach touches it after half court. It'll be a backcourt violation. I don't know how it got all the way over. I thought a Michigan player deflected it. I guess not. So it'll be Michigan basketball inbounding from just inside the half court line. Silas Swords holds it far outside the arc. We'll get a screen from Corals Daniels. No, instead Corals Daniels will take the ball. Now Del Foss on the left wing. Holding it, handing it off. Holloway, top of the key, driving to the free throw line. Kicks it out. Del Foss, the three-pointer. No, off the back iron. Rebound to Addie Deal. She brings it up the floor for Iowa. On the right wing, she bounces it to Stremlo. Now at the free throw line, Hayden. Uncontested jumper. Bounces off the rim. Dudley has the rebound, brings it up the floor for Michigan. Backing into the paint, she goes the step-through move. Couldn't get it to go over Hayden. Gets her own rebound. Tried to put it back. It's swatted. Hayden sends it off the glass. Iowa has it. Stremlo bringing up the floor. Corals Daniels on her. And another great play from Brooke Corals Daniels. Forces Stremlo to try and lob it across half court before the 10-second violation. Instead, it goes out of bounds. That's 10 Iowa turnovers to Michigan's 4.
Yeah, and 4 in the last 3.5 minutes, and a scoring drought for the last 2. This Michigan defense, since those adjustments made by Kim Barnes-Arico, has been swarming.
Mila Holloway has it. Now Kendall Dudley at the left elbow. Gets a screen from Del Foss. Backing in the right lane. Taking her time going up. She will be fouled. Looked like a travel. Before that, they'll say there was a reach-in. A media timeout. And they're going to say it was going up, so it'll be free throws for Kendall Dudley after the media timeout. But what have you seen out of Michigan in the second quarter, Andrew?
A lot more physical, a lot more confident. They feel a lot more in control. I mean, Going after that first quarter, it was 13-4 Iowa. Michigan has outscored Iowa in the second quarter, 12-6, and it's been forcing turnovers, being feisty, and attacking the perimeter guards, and just really making everything awful for Iowa to kind of dissect, especially since this is a team that really likes to try and pass the ball. They really want to get a lot of passes going, try and find someone who's open. And Michigan has done a really good job at forcing bad passes, cutting the passing lanes, and that's something that it should have been noted before, because that is something that has been important in this game.
For Iowa, we saw Ava Hayden come out strong with 6 points in that first quarter. Only 1 point since then came at the free throw line. How has Michigan been able to sort of rattle her under the hoop?
It has just been bumping her, forcing her off her spot, making her rush her shot. In the first quarter, she seemed really uncomfortable, at ease almost. And this Michigan team, when you go small, you need feisty guards and feisty smaller players to just make it a hard time, especially since, you're lower, you have a lower center of gravity, and that can just make it kind of awkward with some of the greatest defenders. I mean, you'll see it WNBA, NBA, when teams have a smaller guard and a big, you're going to see, the guard really make it a difficult time to get that inbound a little tongue-tied here, to make that low block pass really difficult to get in, let alone just trying to go up with the basket.
Michigan women's basketball never advanced to the Big Ten tournament championship game. They fell in the semifinals the past 2 years, trying to avoid it being 3 in a row and break the streak. Last year was to USC. Michigan was the 5 seed, 82-70. Silas Swords did make the all-tournament team last year, averaging 21 points per game through 3 games, and she's had a pretty solid tournament so far. Has 6 points early on here. Yesterday had 17 and 8 rebounds against Oregon.
Yeah, and you're kind of seeing it right now in that second quarter. 2 quick threes after we noted that it was going to take her shooting well from outside the arc. She's just an incredible shooter from 3 off the catch. Her step back is lethal, and that's something we saw last year, and now we're seeing it again.
2 free throws for Kendall Dudley after the media timeout. First one is good. Dudley transferred to Michigan from UCLA, where he went to the Final Four and actually won the Big Ten tournament. She only played 3 minutes in the championship game, but still has some experience here in these moments, as goes 1 for 2 at the line. Hawkeyes have the rebound. Bringing it up the floor is Stremlo. Now Deal on the wing. Holloway on her. Deal surveying, running out of time. KBA wanted the 5-second call on the wing. They don't get it. Instead, it's Chit-Chat Wright dribbling inside the arc and making the long 2. 21-17, 4:30 remains in the half. Mila Holloway has it for the Wolverines. Now Tayola Del Foss taking her time, dribbling into the paint, backing into her defender. On 1 foot, falling away. The shot will be blocked. It bounces into her hands, rolling on the floor. No travel called. She kicks it out to Silas Swords. Swords will regroup for the Wolverines. 5 seconds on the shot clock. It's a screen from Dudley. Swords on the left wing, puts one up off the front iron. Iowa basketball. On the left wing, it's Addie Deal. Driving onto the block. Falling backwards, and the floater's good. The freshman getting one to go. 23-17. Holloway has it for Michigan. Olivia Olson getting ready to check back in. Del Foss now top of the key. Thought about taking a shot. They're giving her a lot of space. The long 2 is no good. Not the best shot choice that time for Michigan. They trail by 6. 23-17, 3:30 on the clock. Stolke has it. Now Deal. Deal on the left wing. Holloway on her. Kicks it. The long 2, good from outside the free throw line. Journey Houston gets it to go in. The freshman for Iowa doing some damage right now. 6-0 run for the Hawkeyes. 25-17. 3:05 left in the half. Holloway driving baseline, gets called for a travel. Iowa basketball after the turnover.
And this Iowa bench lineup has come into the game and really been a spark plug, just as they were in the first game, you know, back where Michigan had their worst shooting night of the season, or scoring night of the season as well. It was really another difference was the bench units. You know, it really is an important part of Michigan's offense, you know, the third in the Big Ten when it comes to bench points, and for Iowa to kind of flip the script and be this ultra dominant team in both games when it comes to bench scoring has played a huge role in this little run that they're going.
Coach Kim Barnes-Rico called a timeout to talk things over after the 6-0 Iowa run as the Hawkeye faithful start to get into it. It's starting to get a little bit loud here in Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Yeah, they're getting really excited. You know, I think Michigan kind of took the wind out of their sails a bit, you know, with that run in the second. But now, you know, when Iowa's on fire, this crowd will always get loud.
Yep. Iowa basketball after the timeout. Full court press from the Wolverines as Journey Houston's able to break the press. It'll be a kick ball on Olivia Olson after getting it across half court. Sideline inbound here for the Hawkeyes. Stremlo will take it. Trying to get Chit Chat right open. Running out of time. Instead, she will go to Stolke. Stolke hands it back off to Stremlo at the top of the key. Bounces it to Wright on the wing. Wright feeds it inside to a cutting Stremlo. On the block. Steps through. Goes up. Can't finish. Mila Holloway rebound. Feeds it up ahead to Silas Swords. She sends it into the paint. Holloway working. Kicks it out. The three is good. Mila Holloway from the pass from Brooke Corals-Daniels. 25-20. Full court press once again from Michigan. Houston able to pass it up ahead across half court. Chit Chat right swings it. Houston on the right wing. Back to Wright on the left wing. 2:15 left in the half. Houston puts one up. The long two. Can't get the friendly roll. Holloway with the rebound for Michigan. She brings it across half court. Working her way down the left lane. Now pulls it out. Tried to feed a cutting Olsen on the baseline. It'll be kicked out of bounds off the shin of Olsen. Iowa ball. Addie Deal will return for Iowa. Taylor Stremlo will get a breather. (25-20), 2:01 left in the half. Wolverines still in the full court press. Chit Chat right has it at her own free throw line. Trying to get it across half court. She does with the pass to Journey Houston. Back to Wright, pulls another deep three. That time it rims out. Loose ball rebound, the fight for it. Swords on the ground. And it's going to be a reach-in foul on Journey Houston. Good hustle play from Silas Swords.
And, yeah, I brought it up last night how Olsen is a very underrated rebounder. She led the Michigan Wolverines last year in rebounds, and you see it there, hustle, energy, gets the rebound, and draws a foul while she's at it.
Hannah Stolke checks into the game for Journey Houston. Michigan basketball, Olivia Olsen has it. Now Silas Swords on the Big Ten logo. Right back to Olsen on the right wing. Gets a screen from Dudley. Driving to the free throw line. Finds a cutting Dudley. Going up. Can't finish. Gets her own rebound. The putback's good. Kendall Dudley with a bucket to make it a 3-point ball game with 1:20 left in the half. Stolke now on the wing. Fierbach feeds it inside to Hayden. She goes up. Can't finish. Good defense from Dudley. Two-way player for the Wolverines. On the other end, Holloway tried to feed it up ahead. Intercepted by Hayden. Diving out of bounds, is able to save it. Iowa basketball on the right wing. It's Deal. She'll wait for Hayden to get back across half court and give it to her. Hayden swings it over. Fierbach driving down the baseline, kicks it out. Right top of the key. Now on the right wing, under a minute left in the half. On the block, they find a cutting Hayden. She goes up and finishes. A foul called as well. Count the bucket. One more coming for Ava Hayden.
And she just came in flying from the top of the key. We're seeing it on the replay. That pass, she gets it right on the left side of the paint and just goes up with a foul. She's great at taking that contact on and finishing through.
Hayden had a real case to be the Big Ten Women's Player of the Year. It ended up going to Lauren Betts, but there were certain people saying that she might deserve it more as she hits the free throw. 28-22, 45 seconds left, 20-second difference between shot and game clock. Olsen tried to pass it to Macy Brown, just a bit too strong that time. It'll be a Michigan turnover, 8th of the game. Iowa ball, 42 seconds on the clock. Can the Hawkeyes try and maybe go 2 for 1 here?
I think it's a possibility, especially if they get a shot up. They have some pretty good shooters on this team. It's certainly possible.
Stolke had some trouble getting it inbound. She's able to find Fierbach. She passes it up ahead to Chit Chat Wright. 35 seconds on the clock, as looks like Iowa's going to take its time here. Chit Chat Wright at half court. Now we'll hand it off to Stolke, bringing it across the arc. Fierbach has it. Swords on her. Back to Wright. Gets a screen from Hayden. Finds the rolling Hayden, runs over Olivia Olsen. Hayden can't finish. Michigan ball, shot clock turned off. 11 seconds left in the half. Silas Swords picked up her dribble at the Big Ten logo, gets it to Kendall Dudley on the right wing. 5 seconds now. They're backing off Dudley, gives it to Corals Daniels. Corals Daniels driving on the block, spinning, falling backwards, and no good. That is how the first half of action will end. A low-scoring first half. Iowa 28, Michigan 22. Wolverines trying to flip the script here in the second half, get some more points on the board, Andrew.
Yeah, really, it's kind of deja vu. I mean, that first game, it was a low-scoring affair then, too. That was a 27-20 game at half. And, I mean, there's a lot to take away from this. First off, Iowa, this is kind of underrated, but they're winning the rebounding battle, especially just getting defensive rebounds and getting the ball back. And that's really been because they have just had a really incredible paint presence this entire game that has been something that's been really key for them.
Michigan finishes the half just making 2 of its last 10 attempts from the field, shooting 26% through that first half. If you're Coach KBA, what are you saying to the squad in the locker room?
Well, first off, it's just, hey, we're kind of moving a little too fast. We're putting shots up. We're not taking, we're kind of going through the motions a little too quickly. We're a little sped up, a little jumpy, and that's been great on defense. They have 8 steals on the game. 7 steals on the game compared to Iowa's 3. Forced a lot of turnovers in that second half. That was really important for them to be able to come back down for the 13. So if I'm her, I'm just, I'm reassuring my team. I'm really calming them down and telling, and there were a couple players on this Michigan team that had a really poor first half shooting, and I'm just telling them, hey, keep on shooting. That ball's gonna fall. You just gotta play your own game. You gotta play at your pace. You can't let this Iowa defense speed you up like that in your motions.
At the half, Iowa 28, Michigan 22. We'll be back for second half coverage from Gainbridge Fieldhouse after a short break. Jake Lancer, Andrew Pipta here with you for WCBN Sports. We welcome you back inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Just about to get underway here with the second half of action from the Big Ten Women's Tournament Semifinals. UCLA punched its ticket just before this game, beating Ohio State. Now it's time to see who will be joining them. Iowa leads at the half 28-22, leading scorer for the Hawkeyes. And all scorers, Ava Hayden with 10 points. For Michigan, Olivia Olson, 8 points, 3 steals. Andrew, if Michigan wants to come back, win this game, make its first Big Ten Tournament Championship appearance in program history, what do they have to do?
Well, first up, you have to keep up that defensive intensity. You know, you came out and you were down 4-13 at the end of the first quarter, and they really stepped it up defensively. They played a lot more aggressive. They played faster, and they really sped up, particularly the Iowa guards who were trying to get the ball past half court. That was really important for Michigan. And I think, too, the second thing is they just need their shots to fall. They've had some decently open shots. They've had shots that, you know, I know this Michigan team, you know, any other day would be hitting them. And so considering, kind of think about it like this. If I told you that the field goal percentage difference was Michigan 26, Iowa 41, we would be thinking it's a blowout by half.
Yeah.
But no, Michigan's only down by 6. And to think that, you know, they're kind of losing the rebound battle, they're showing it up on the screen, 24-18. But they have really been incredible on the defensive end, generating steals. They have 7 in the first half. I think there's a lot of good things that Michigan has here. They've built a good floor for them to kind of come out here and steal this win away from Iowa, just like they've stolen a bunch of passes in that first half.
When these two played in Iowa City, the score at the half was 27-20. Michigan trailed by 7. Tonight they trail by 6. Similar situations. What do you think went wrong in the second half last time around for Michigan?
Well, it was clearly the fourth quarter. I feel like this team just kind of lost their gas. You know, that it just kind of slowed down a little bit, and then Iowa capitalized on senior night. You know, a 20-9 difference in the fourth is an absolutely incredible performance by Iowa on both the offensive and defensive side. So really, what I'm thinking for Michigan is that you just got to keep up with their pace. When Iowa throws a jab, you got to throw a counter jab. You know, you can't let them go on a kill shot run, 10-0, and just open this game up. You have it within a good distance. You're within striking distance. You just can't let it get out of hand from here.
Well, the winner gets UCLA. No one's been able to touch them yet this year. We'll see tomorrow. Tips at 2:30. Winner of Michigan and Iowa. Well, what a treat. You know, you win this, the reward, you get to play one of the best teams in the country, number 1 team in the conference, UCLA.
Yeah, and they've only fallen once, and that was out of conference. But I do think that both of these teams have shown a lot of energy that even, you know, their game against Ohio State was relatively close throughout it. I mean, UCLA was pretty much in the lead all game, but Ohio State kept on punching back and getting within, 6-5 points. So I do think that both of these teams that are really incredible defensive squads in their own right and their own ways, I think they have a good shot against that UCLA squad.
Here we go. One more half to determine who will be playing on Championship Sunday. Michigan has it to start things off. On the right wing, it's Tyler Swords. Gets a screen from Sofilkanik. She hits her rolling. Sofilkanik goes up, misses the putback, and one. Brooke Corals-Daniels. Big bucket to start things off. 28-24.
Yeah, and KBA really made it a point of emphasis to talk about how Corals-Daniels, who's the smallest player on the court at all times, is so crafty at getting those offensive rebounds. And there you saw it. She hauled it in and put the bucket up.
Unable to convert the three-point play. It'll remain an Iowa 4-point lead for the time being. They get it across half court. Hannah Stolke, now chit-chat right. On the Big Ten logo, Corals-Daniels on her. On the right wing, tried to feed it inside, stolen by Corals Daniels. Holloway picks it up, tried to find a cutting swords, deflected. Olivia Olson comes down with it for Michigan as they set up on the offensive side. They feed it inside, and Sofocanic is able to get an easy lay-in over Stulke. 28-26 on the other end. Wright has it in the corner, sends it back up top to Stremlo. Corals Daniels on her tight. Now at the free throw line, it's Stulke. Driving to the block, kicks it out. Fairbach sends it right back out. Stulke, and that's going to be 3 in the key. Second 3 in the key we've seen called today. And timeout Iowa.
Wow. I guess after that you do need to take a timeout and kind of calm down, especially since Michigan has fired off 2 quick buckets. But, something that I found a little interesting is that I think Sofocanic has started out on Stulke to begin this third quarter, at least on the offensive end. She's still on Hayden when it comes to the defensive end. But I kind of like that matchup a little bit better. I mean, Hayden is just an incredible defensive player. Last night against Illinois, she had 5 blocks on the night. And I think that if Michigan's going to perform and win this game, I do think that they do need a little bit of an interior presence. And so matching Sofocanic up with her and kind of forcing some sort of adjustment there in the offense on the defensive end for Iowa, I don't think that's a bad move. We'll see if that was just a coincidence or if that's something that has been, a little bit of a chess move there from KBA, but it's just something to kind of keep a note of.
Yeah. 2 Iowa turnovers in just 59 seconds of play here in this third quarter as both teams start to make their way back out onto the floor.
Oh, it was a media timeout listed here, which is really interesting. 1 minute right into the game, you're already calling a media timeout. But yeah, that's a little interesting.
28-26. Hawkeyes are out on the floor. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
Michigan's still in the huddle, and yeah, I think you're right. It must have gotten escalated to immediate timeout because the officials aren't calling them back out onto the floor either, as the Iowa cheer squad just finished up a little routine. We await Michigan to come back out onto the floor.
Yeah, they're still talking things out. I guess I think that's not a bad move, though. Take some time. Get your plan situated, especially in a close game like this, where it kind of feels like both coaches are just trying to out-scheme each other.
Number 9 versus number 8 in the country. What a fun one here on WCBN. It'll be Michigan basketball. Just a minute into this third quarter. Mila Holloway brings it up the floor. Had a career-high 10 assists last night, only 1 tonight. Holloway has it on the left wing. Surveying. Corals Daniels gives it right back to Holloway, driving down the baseline, going up, kicks it out. Olivia Olson, the 3, no good. Corals Daniels with the rebound, driving onto the block, it's double team, kicks it out to Holloway, driving into the paint, the floater no good. Sofocanic rebound, putback missed. Michigan can't convert. Iowa basketball. Fierbach driving past Olson, going up and under, the reverse no good. And a miscommunication between Sofocanic and Olson leads to it going out of bounds. Iowa gets a lucky break. It'll be Hawkeyes basketball. Hayden has it, hands it off to Stremlo, who has it on the right wing. Finds a cutting chit-chat right. Pops out into the corner, puts a 3 up and drains it. Her second of the game. On the other end, Brooke Corals Daniels, now Mila Holloway at the top of the key. Puts a 3 up, rims out. Fight for the board. Stulke beats Sofocanic for it. Iowa ball. Wright has it, swings it over. They get it into the corner, wide open 3 look. Off the mark that time for Stremlo. Silas Swords rebound. Here comes Michigan. Wolverines have missed It's the last 4 shots. Silas Swords puts up a 3. It's good. 31-29, big bucket for Swords. She has 9 now, all coming from beyond the arc. 3 for 6 from three-point land. Chit Chat right on the left wing. Corals Daniels on her. Now top of the key, Stremlo. Directing the offense. 15 seconds on the shot clock. At the right elbow, Stulke lobs it inside to her teammate, Hayden, who goes up and finishes. Another bucket for Ava Hayden. Leads all scorers with 12. On the other end, Silas Swords can't finish on the inside. Rebound goes to Fierbach. She brings it up across half court for the Hawkeyes. Now Stremlo. Journey Houston getting ready to return for the Hawkeyes at the next stoppage. Chit Chat right, top of the key, gets a screen from Hayden, dribbles in, the mid-range, no good. A little loose ball as Mila Holloway picked it up around half court. Gets it, gets bumped. It'll be a foul on the Hawkeyes as Houston and her fellow freshman Addie Deal will return to the game. Interesting rhythm to this half so far. It's felt a bit, I don't know what the, stop-starty?
Yeah, a little jarring maybe.
There you go,
yeah, that's a good word.
Holloway top of the key, thought about taking a 3 over Deal. Instead, kicks it to the corner. Silas Swords gets a screen from Sofocanic. Steps out, the 3, no good, rattles out. Olivia Olsen there for the putback. Saving the day is Olsen. 10 points for her, 33-31. On the right wing, Deal picked up her dribble outside the arc, feeds it to Houston. Off-ball whistle. Looks like it's going to be Sofocanic's 3rd foul. Michigan's first of the quarter. It'll be a baseline inbound for the Hawkeyes. Fierbach to take it. She'll get it right back. Fierbach on the wing. Driving into the free throw line. Lost it. Stolen by Swords. Here come the Wolverines on the break. Passed up ahead to Holloway. She goes up. Finishes. And 1. Count the bucket. Journey Houston got some contact with her going up. Holloway will have a chance for the 3-point play.
And such an important bucket there. She's 2 of 10 on the night, and to get the contact there, draw a foul, tie this game up with a chance to take the lead. That was such an important bucket there.
For the first time tonight, Michigan leads 34-33. Full court press in effect. Hawkeyes are able to break it. Hannah Stulke brings it across half court, holds it at the top of the key. We'll give it to Wright. 6 minutes remain in the quarter. 34-33 Michigan lead. Chit Chat right on the right wing. Kicks it over to Fierbach. Michigan faithful starting to get a little bit loud now. On the baseline, it's Houston. Working into Olsen. Spinning. Picked up her dribble. No shot. Great defense from Olsen. Kicks it out. Deal working. Falling. It's a travel. What a defensive sequence for Michigan basketball. The Wolverines get it back.
And, you know, I think a lot of fans, a lot of people online like to chirp at Michigan for being an older crowd, and that kind of affects how loud they are. This is the loudest I've ever seen our elder Wolverines get. They are so pumped up right now, and this entire team just has a new energy to them.
Kendall Dudley checks in for Ashley Sofocanic. 1-point Michigan lead, 5:30 on the clock. On the right wing, it's Holloway. Skips it across the court to Silas Swords. On the left block, kicks it right back out to Holloway. Thought about the 3, Deal on her. Holloway goes behind the back, driving down the left lane, goes up, can't finish. Loose ball. Holloway tried to save it. It goes out of bounds. It's going to stay on this side of the floor, Michigan basketball. Baseline inbound for the Wolverines. Holloway will take it. 2-minute, 3-second Iowa scoring drought. As we wait for Kylie Fierbach to tie her shoes. All good. Here we go. Holloway looking for someone to get it into. Pass too hot to handle for Kendall Dudley. Taken back by the Hawkeyes. Here they come. Chit Chat right has it at the top of the key. Silas Swords on her. Now on the left wing. Trying to feed it into the post. She gets it right at the free throw line. The jumper no good from Houston. Loose ball, rebounds. Brooke Corals-Daniels had it. And they're going to say that it was out of bounds on the Hawkeyes?
What? Well, timeout on the court for that. I'll be honest, I was a little confused at that call too. You know, it kind of looked like Corals-Daniels touched it as she was stepping out of bounds, but I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what's going on, but I don't know. I just feel like that was this should be Iowa possession here.
Be immediate timeout. Michigan basketball after the break. 2-minute, 22-second Iowa scoring drought. Gives us a chance to talk about Iowa head coach Jan Jensen, her second season as head coach. Her 26th with the program, as you mentioned earlier, was the recruiting coordinator, recruited multiple McDonald's All-Americans, including, Caitlin Clark. We're in Indianapolis. Sort of have to talk about Caitlin Clark a little bit. But, Jensen also ranks fourth on Drake's all-time scoring list. She's only one of two players in Drake program history to have her jersey retired.
Yeah, and she led the NCAA Division I in scoring in the 1990 season. And, yeah, she has done it all as both a player and a coach. She's been super impactful, starting out as kind of an unseen force for the Iowa program's, new rise into being one of the biggest and brightest teams in women's basketball. And, taking over with this team, you also lost a lot of talent, and especially Caitlin Clark as she went to the WNBA. But she has not stopped. I mean, she had a really solid first season last year. This year, she has stepped it up to be a top 10 program in the entire country now. And, I mean, to take this Michigan team to the brink, it has been super impressive, and just seeing how they've, been able to adapt to whatever Michigan throws at them.
First coach in program history to post 2 20-plus win seasons in her first 2 years on the job. She was a part of Big Ten tournament championship teams at Iowa in 2001, 2019, 2022, 2023, 2024, that 3-year stretch where Iowa sort of ran the Big Ten for a second there from 22 to 24. Trying to get back on top. They'll have to go through Michigan and UCLA to do so. Media timeout has concluded. Both teams back out onto the floor. Silasores, Olivia Olson, Kendall Dudley, Mila Holloway, and Brooke Corals-Daniels for Michigan. For Iowa, Kylie Fierbach, Hannah Stulke, Addie Deal, Ava Hayden, and Chit-Chat Wright. Michigan basketball. Mila Holloway brings it across half court. Working on Deal. Feeds it to the elbow. Kendall Dudley. Hayden backing off of her. Dudley, Olsen wasn't ready for that one. Dudley tried to swing it over. It was a short pass, had a lot of heat on it. Goes out of bounds. It'll be a Michigan turnover. Full court press. Chit-Chat Wright feeds it up ahead. Get it across half court. Stulke right back to Wright. Corals-Daniels on her. Feeds it inside to Stulke. Stulke tried to pass it to Hayden. It was deflected, stolen by Michigan. On the other end, Silas Swords has it in the corner, finds a cutting Kendall Dudley, and they're going to say she traveled before going up. 3 Iowa turnovers in the last 3 minutes. 3 Michigan turnovers in the last minute 50. It's been a little bit of a sloppy quarter.
I agree 100% with that statement, Jake.
Hannah Stulke brings it across half court. Now Chit-Chat Wright on the left wing. Swings it, top of the key, Addie Deal. Gets a screen from Hayden. On the right wing working. Hayden trying to position in the paint. They're trying to get into her. Instead, they go to Fierbach at the top of the key. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Fierbach driving down the baseline, pulls it out, hands it off to Wright, and no shot will be attempted. It'll be an offensive foul on the Hawkeyes. That'll count as another turnover.
Yeah, 6 quick turnovers in this third quarter. That has really been the story for Iowa to open up the second half.
Mila Holloway brings it up the floor. Both teams in a bit of a scoring drought here. Holloway has it on the wing. Lobs it inside, and just an ill-advised pass. Tried to get it to Olivia Olson, who dives out of bounds to save it. The Hawkeyes get it. It's Iowa basketball. Olson able to get back, 5-on-5. And a bad pass from the Hawkeyes, lobbed out. Stolke had it on the block, tried to swing it up to Fierbach. She's able to get it at half court. 11 seconds on the shot clock. And an offensive foul on the Hawkeyes. Addie Deal was driving in, just used the forearm there, and I'll go back. I'll use the word sloppy once again. I don't know how else to characterize it.
I mean, it has been just a lot of turnovers, some bad passes. That stiff arm there, you can't fully extend with your arm. You can only kind of brace it a little bit.
Macy Brown checks into the game for Michigan. On the elbow, it's Corals Daniels. Olson coming around the arc, gets it. Top of the key, runs into a double team. Swings it to Macy Brown on the left wing. She drives into the block, kicks it out. Corals Daniels on the left wing, now at the elbow. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Olivia Olson, left wing, driving towards the free throw line. Kicks it to the corner. Swords falling backwards. Her three goes off the side of the basket. Out of bounds, Iowa basketball. Taylor Stremlow will check into the game for Addie Deal. Not the best shot attempt that time. Michigan 4 for 17 from three-point land tonight. 2:45 remains in what's been an interesting third quarter. 34-33, Michigan leads. Top of the key, it's Wright. Now all the way back at the Big Ten logo. She swings it to Fierbach. Stremlow on the right wing, Swords on her. Tight defense, 5 seconds on the shot clock, gotta go. Stremlow swings it across the court to Stolke. Goes back to Stremlow, it'll be a reach-in foul on Silas Swords. Oh, kickball, excuse me. So that will reset the shot clock. Hawkeyes catch a bit of a break there as the clock was at 2 seconds.
Yeah, just really physical defense there. The kicked ball did really save them there from another bad possession on offense.
Baseline inbound. Stremlow sends it in, gets it right back. She has it on the left wing. Some off-ball action for Wright. She gets it in the corner. Chit-chat Wright working. Off-ball foul. We'll see. It's on Michigan. We'll see which player.
It's going to be called on
Kendall
Dudley. Yeah, and I mean, with physical play like that, you're going to get some of those here and there where you get a little too feisty, you get a little too physical.
Neither team has scored in the last 5 minutes. 2:15 left in the quarter. Hawkeyes have it. In the paint, it's Stremlow. Pulls it back outside on the right wing. She picks up her dribble. Skips it across the court. Wide open Fierbach. The three off the front rim. Olson got tangled up under the hoop with Stolke fighting for the rebound. It'll be back-to-back off-ball fouls on Michigan. And it looks like it'll be another baseline inbound for Iowa. 2:05 now left in the quarter. Stremlow has it on the right wing for the Hawkeyes. Swords on her. Picks up her dribble, looking for pass. Tries to feed it inside to Hayden. Loses it. And another foul on the Wolverines.
Okay.
It looks like it's on Kendall Dudley, as Michigan bench is not a fan of it.
Well, I gotta agree. This game has been really feisty and physical, and now it feels like both teams, but mainly Michigan right now, as KBA is really getting animated. It feels like they're kind of now starting to punish it.
3 fouls in a row for Michigan, as it'll be deflected out of bounds on a baseline drive. One more foul, and Iowa will be in the bonus for the remainder of the quarter. Michigan already there. Under 2 minutes left in the quarter. We still remain at 34-33. Another baseline inbound for Iowa. Stremlow passes it inside. The pass is deflected. Macy Brown tried to chase it down. It goes out of bounds. It'll be another inbound for the Hawkeyes, this time coming from the sideline, the sideline. So we'll change it up a little bit.
Yeah, a little different here, but it just an incredible stand. They've been really, Michigan's been really a great wall in front of this Iowa half-court offense.
Chit-Chat Wright brings it across half court after the sideline inbound. Gets a screen from Hayden, runs into a double team, picks up a dribble, able to get it to Hayden, who finds a wide open Stolke. She goes up and finishes. Hawkeyes reclaim the lead, 35-34, break the over 5-minute scoring drought. Olivia Olsen has it at the top of the key. A minute 30 seconds remain in the third. Now Silas Swords on the wing. Gets a screen from Olsen. Swords deciding what to do, pulls it out into the corner, picks up her dribble, kicks it to Dudley at the elbow. Dudley scoops it up, can't finish. Good defense from Hayden. Rebound Stolke, Iowa basketball. 35-34, 1:05 left in the quarter. Top of the key, it's Wright. Corals Daniels on her. Gives it to Stolke. Stolke holds it, top of the key, dribbles into the free throw line. Kicks it to the right wing, it's Stremlow. And there will be a whistle. Blocking foul on the Hawkeyes.
Well, Michigan has an opportunity to break their 5-minute scoring drought. And yeah, that was an incredible sequence of events, and that was, wow.
Under a minute to play. I misspoke earlier. Iowa's in the bonus. Michigan needs one more foul to get into the bonus. So that's why they didn't shoot free throws there off the offensive foul. Mila Holloway checks into the game and instantly able to score, dribbles in. The little floater is good. 36-35, Michigan leads. The full court press almost works as it's deflected. Holloway couldn't track it down in time. 6 Iowa turnovers in the last 6:52. .7 remains in the quarter as Kim Barnes-Rico talks to the officials. Shot clock has been turned off. Chit-Chat Wright brings it across half court. Hawkeyes trail by 1. Can hold for the last shot. Looks like that's what they will do. 15 seconds now. Wright dribbling around half court. 11 seconds. 10 seconds. Gets a screen. Kicks it over to Stolke. Stolke lost it. It'll be a kick ball. It'll remain on this side of the floor. 8 seconds left on the clock. Baseline inbound once again here for Iowa. Stremlow will take it from the baseline. 8 seconds. Kicks it. Gets it right back. Stremlow thought about the mid-range. Picked up her dribble. Trying to find contact into the body of Swords. Ends up passing it to Stolke, who goes up and can't finish. And that is how this awkward third quarter will end. Michigan leads 36-35. Gives us a chance to catch our breaths. I don't. It was an interesting quarter. I'm trying to find the words to describe it. I've said sloppy. I don't know. It was. I'll say interesting, and we'll go from there. What did you think about the quarter?
Well, I think it was a mix of both teams making incredible defensive efforts, and the offense is, making a lot of turnovers, missing some of their shots, and that was really in the back half of the third quarter. I mean, Michigan, outscored Iowa 14-7 there. But something that I thought really was interesting is that Michigan was really good, at shutting down Iowa after those sideline out-of-bounds plays, just making sure first not to let the ball fall into the hands of any of their bigs, but just keeping Iowa away from really getting comfortable. And, we saw a couple kicked balls, but honestly, that might not be a bad strategy to just, to prevent some of those low post opportunities. I've seen that a couple times, some players, in the professionals, kind of do that to kind of reset the offense. And I honestly wouldn't be – I think that would be a good thing to kind of try with Michigan, especially since this Iowa team really likes to run their offense through the bigs.
We talked about the last time these two played so much throughout this game, and there have been a lot of parallels. we wait to see what happens in this fourth quarter, but a couple weeks ago in Iowa City, the Hawkeyes finished the day on a 10-2 run to really shut the door on Michigan through the last 3.5 minutes, really close the game out. And it was a closer game than the final score showed. Iowa won 62-44, but it was a single-digit ball game most of the way through until that Iowa run. How does Michigan close this game out, Andrew?
You got to shut down Hayden. This is what KBA has kind of prepared them for. Because that's what they, again, there was an emphasis on the fact that Michigan felt like they played a really good first 3 quarters, and then they just let Hayden get out of control and really take over the game. And I think really it's going to be shutting down some of those stars for Iowa, force some of the role players for this team to step up and make a big impact. And I think that's kind of the win condition right now in the fourth.
10 minutes left to decide who moves on to Championship Sunday. For Michigan, it'll be Ashley Sofocanic, Macy Brown, Silas Swords, Mila Holloway, and Olivia Olson. For the Hawkeyes, Taylor Stremlow, Ava Hayden, Chit Chat Wright, Kylie Fierbach, and Hannah Stolke. Iowa basketball to start this fourth quarter off. Fierbach has it on the left wing. Macy Brown on her tight. Kicks it to Chit Chat Wright, top of the key. Dumps it inside the right elbow. It's Hayden. Hands it off right back to Wright. Chit Chat Wright on the wing. Now at the elbow. Stolke tried to get it inside to Hayden. Another kick ball. It'll be on Olivia Olson.
It's working. It's denying. I talked about, they got to shut down Hayden, but if you don't let her get the ball, that's a good way of kind of taking her out of the game.
On the right wing, it's Stremlow. Picks up her dribble, Swords on her. Gives it up to Fierbach. She sends it inside. Going up, finishing and one is Hannah Stolke. Be a foul on Olivia Olson. Looks like that'll be her third. And a chance for a 3-point play for the senior. We didn't even know if Stolke would play today. She was dealing with an injured elbow, and then on Thursday morning woke up with a virus. Ends up being healthy enough to go, and she's certainly made an impact. Makes the free throw there. 2-point Iowa lead, 38-36. Mila Holloway has it, top of the key. Now Olivia Olson gets a screen from Sofocanic. Driving down the right lane, pulls it back out. The mid-range, no good. Rebound, Chit Chat Wright. She brings it up the floor for the Hawkeyes. Macy Brown on her. Now top of the key, it's Stremlow. Gets a screen from Stolke. Pulls it back out on the right wing. Surveying. 15 seconds on the shot clock. At the free throw line, it's Hayden. Picks up her dribble, kicks it right back out to Fierbach. Gets a screen from Hayden. Fierbach. Hayden. Mid-range. Can't get it. Off the front rim. Rebound hauled in by Sofocanic. She passes it up ahead to Macy Brown on the left wing. Gets a screen from Sofocanic. Tried to find a cutting Silas Swords, instead turns it over. Stolen by Stremlow. She launches it up ahead to Chit Chat Wright, who hauls it in and will slow things down and let the Hawkeyes get back onto the side of the floor. They get it into the post. Give and go action. The finish is good. Hannah Stolke. They got it into Ava Hayden, and she let Stolke finish the job. On the other end, Mila Holloway, now Olivia Olson, driving down the right lane, going up, can't finish. Foul going up for the rebound. It looks like it's going to be on the Hawkeyes. Gives us a chance to catch our breaths. Iowa 40, Michigan 36, 8:18 on the clock. Brooke Quarles-Daniels returns for Michigan. Journey Houston for Iowa. Ava Hayden's going to check out for Iowa. For Michigan, it'll be Macy Brown getting a breather. Michigan basketball after the foul on the rebound. They inbound it to Silas Swords, top of the key. Now Mia Holloway, right back to Swords, left wing, working on right. In the corner, swings it. Holloway left wing, gets a screen from Sofocanic. At the free throw line, fading away. She'll get fouled going up. Free throws coming for Mila Holloway.
Yeah, it looks like Stremlow kind of caught it might have been the elbow or the wrist of Holloway when she went up with that jumper, drawing the foul there. Again, any points right now will be really important as Michigan now down by 4.
First free throw is good for Holloway, 40-37. The sophomore shooting 76% from the line this season. 2 for 2 this trip. 40-38, 8:05. Michigan back in the full court press. Taylor Stremlo trying to bring it up the floor, lobs it up ahead to Hannah Stolke. She finishes the job, has it at the three-point line, slowing things down, trying to get it back to Stremlo. She does. Stremlo driving towards the free throw line, now pulls it back out on the left wing. Holloway on her tight, whips it inside to Stolke. On the block, pulls it back out. Looking for a pass, no one open, gets it to Stremlo. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Great ball movement from the Hawkeyes. Stremlo finds a cutting Stolke, and that one was just too easy. 42-38. Holloway has it on the right wing. Now Corals Daniels swinging around. Michigan working around the arc. Olsen tried to lob it inside to Silas Swords. Too strong, sends it out of bounds. KBA calls a timeout after the Michigan turnover as the Hawkeyes have a bit of momentum here.
Yeah, they've outscored Michigan 7-2 coming into this fourth quarter, and it has been Iowa really rushing Michigan on their shot opportunities. The only person to score was Holloway on that foul drawn, and they just don't look comfortable to open up the fourth. Iowa's done a really good job at preventing Swords and Olsen, who down the stretch, those are the two that they traditionally go to, to get those clutch buckets. But Iowa's done a really good job of just shutting them down.
Mila Holloway yesterday had a career-high 10 assists. Today only 2. Along with that, 7 turnovers. She had 6 turnovers against Iowa last time. How has the Hawkeyes defense made it a bit tougher on her to distribute the ball like she normally does?
It's been hedging her at the top of the key, throwing 2 bodies at her at the zone and forcing bad passes, forcing these turnovers, stealing the ball away, and they've just done an incredible job. Talking about Illinois last time out, there was a quote by Jane Jansen talking about the kind of adjusting of that they did for for Illinois, where they were like, hey, this was a really close game that we played against them. So what we really wanted to do was kind of we did a little bit of switching around, but it was really focusing in on hedging with our zone defense and making sure some of those stars are just, we need to, turn the spotlight off on them and make them, these inhuman basketball players. We need to make them human again. And that's what we've seen coming out of the third quarter break, is that really they've kind of focused in on taking Swords out, taking Olsen out, and just making these superhuman athletes 2 Big Ten first-teamers into making them just regular rotation players.
We talked earlier in the quarter about how Michigan started almost, intentionally picking up kickball violations as a way to defend Iowa working into the post. Past couple of drives down the floor, Iowa's been able to sort of counteract that, find their way to get it inside. How have they been able to do that, avoid, Michigan kicking the ball?
Just passing the ball around, finding. So if, they were kind of going from A to B, they're going from A to C with a little bit of a stop to B. They're just finding an extra person to kind of get the ball, kind of take the ball out of one side of the court and make it to both sides of the half court.
Iowa ball after the Michigan timeout. Wolverines in the full court press. Taylor Stremlo working with Stolke to bring it across half court. They do. Stolke picks up her dribble far outside the arc, able to get it to Chit-Chat right. Hawkeyes successfully break the Wolverines press. 7 minutes remain in the quarter. 42-38, Iowa lead. Top of the key, it's Fierbach working on Swords. Taking her time, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it to Wright. A 3 try. Yes, sir. Chit-Chat Wright drains one. A huge shot. 45-38, Iowa lead. 6:45 left on the clock. Mila Holloway, now Olivia Olsen at the top of the key. Gets it to Swords coming off a screen. She tried to go back to Olsen. Instead, it'll be an offensive foul on Ashley Silfulkanik. That's going to be her 4th.
Iowa kind of pulling away with the game. Made their last 3 field goals, and it has been Stolke, who was really quiet up until the 4th quarter, kind of coming alive here and showing why she's the team's 2nd highest scorer.
Kendall Dudley will check in for Silfulkanik. Iowa basketball. Fierbach has it on the right wing. On the opposite side of the floor, Chit Chat Right hits the deck. It's going to be a blocking foul on Michigan. Mila Holloway will pick it up, her 2nd. Couple of early fouls here. Not yet halfway through the quarter, as Iowa starting to inch its way towards the bonus. Couple more fouls to go. Be a baseline inbound. Stremlo gets it to Hayden. Right back to Stremlo on the left wing. Swords on her. Finds a cutting right in the corner. Chit Chat Right pulls it out. On the left wing, Corals Daniels on her. Swings it across the arc. On the right wing, Stremlo pulls one. It's pure over Sila Swords. Not really a three-point shooting team, especially today, but back-to-back trays for the Hawkeyes. 48-38 in the blink of an eye. Hawkeyes lead by 10. On the other end, Olivia Olsen going up is stripped. Iowa has the ball. 5:55 remains as they start to slow things down. Stremlo on the wing. Holloway on her. At the free throw line, Hayden pulls up. Can't get it off the back iron. Stremlo the rebound. They get it back to her on the left wing. Gets a screen from Houston. Driving all the way into the paint. Picks up her dribble. Pivots. Can't finish. Gets her own rebound. Kicks it out as the Hawkeyes have just been dominating the glass here in this 4th quarter. On the left wing, Stremlo will try another triple. That time it's a bit short off the front iron. Kendall Dudley has the rebound. Michigan trails by 10. 5:15 left on the clock. Macy Brown getting ready to check in. Sila Swords has it top of the key. Now Holloway at the left elbow. Surveying her options. Back to Sila Swords top of the key. 10 seconds on the shot clock. As a screen from Dudley. Swords puts up a triple. Can't get it to roll. It'll bounce off the rim onto the top of the backboard. Out of bounds. Iowa basketball. Macy Brown will check in for Mila Holloway. For Michigan, Hannah Stolke will check in for Journey Houston. .455 on the clock. Stolke will inbound it to Chit Chat Right, who will bring it across half court, break the Michigan press by herself. Has it on the Big Ten logo. Hawkeyes working around, top of the key, it's Stremlo. Swings it into the corner, right. Corals Daniels on her, gets a screen from Hayden. Right, surveying, finds a rolling Hayden, and that one just too easy. The pick and roll working to a T that time for Iowa. 50-38, 4:25 on the clock. Macy Brown conducting the offense from the top of the key. Driving past Stremlo, going into the paint and finishing. Takes the contact, gets the lay-in, 50-40. Wolverines trail by 10. Iowa breaks the press once again. Stolke has it on the left wing. Olivia Olsen on her. Swings it, right wing, Stremlo. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 4 minutes on the game clock. Stremlo just driving into the body of Brown. Ball pinballs around. Hawkeyes get it back out on the wing. They feed it right back inside to Stolke, who goes up and will get tied up with Olivia Olsen. Jump ball favoring Michigan. Mila Holloway returns to the game. Olivia Olsen going to check out. Iowa crowd, the loudest it's been all night. Michigan trails 50-40. Brooke Corals Daniels has it on the right wing. No one on her. Swings it. Wolverines working around the arc. Mila Holloway. And that's going to be another offensive blocking foul on Michigan. It's going to be on Kendall Dudley, her fourth. So she and Sofocanic now both with 4. Chit Chat Right brings it across half court. Corals Daniels on her. 3:30 remains. Swings it. Fierbach, top of the key. Tight defense from Sword. She pokes it out momentarily. Fierbach gets it back on the right wing. Hands it off to Stremlo. Runs into a double team. Gets bumped out of bounds. Able to pass it out before she touches the line. Chit Chat Right feeds it inside to Fierbach. Stolke, who goes up and will get fouled. No. Out of bounds. Ashley Sofocanic returns to the game for Michigan. Macy Brown will check out. So now you have 2 Wolverines on the floor with 4 fouls. Bit more size on the floor. Went out of bounds off of Michigan. Baseline inbound from the Hawkeyes. They get it to Hayden, who drives in. It'll be an offensive foul on Hayden. We're going the other way. That's her 4th, Andrew.
Yeah, which is something to note here. If Michigan's able to draw a foul here and take her out of the game, that could be game-changing for the Michigan Wolverines.
Hayden checks out. Journey Houston returns to the game in her place. 3 minutes remain. 50-40, Iowa leads Michigan basketball. Kendall Dudley swings it at the free throw line. Corals Daniels, the jumper rims out. Loose ball rebounds. As we await the call on the floor, it's going to be a foul on Iowa. It'll be on Chit Chat Right. Both teams just a foul away from reaching the bonus now. Baseline inbound from Holloway. Running out of time, no one open. And Corals Daniels got knocked down coming off a screen. It'll be a foul on the Hawkeyes, and now free throws for the Macomb, Michigan native. Corals Daniels just shooting 53% from the line this season. Her second visit to the stripe tonight, as unable to get the first one to go. One more coming up. Gets to go. 1 for 2 at the line. 50-41. Iowa leads. Hawkeyes basketball. 2:50 left on the clock. Chit Chat Right. Now top of the key, it's Fierbach. On the wing, Stremlo. Tight defense from Holloway, who runs into a wall of a screen. Hawkeyes working around the arc. They get it inside to Stulke, who goes up, can't finish. It'll be poked out of bounds by Silas Swords. Olivia Olson returns to the game for Kendall Dudley. She has 3 fouls herself. Baseline inbound for Iowa. They get it in and right back to Stremlo. It goes on the right wing. Silas Swords on her. Feeds it into the elbow. It's Houston. Back to Stremlo. Houston got bumped. No, excuse me. It was actually Stulke under the basket who got bumped. And that might be on Sofocanic.
If that's on Sofocanic,
words were exchanged there.
If that's on Sofocanic, I mean, that removes the little bit of size that Michigan had, and that's going to hurt. That's going to sting for her to foul out like that. And it's, even though Iowa's been on a 2-minute scoring drought, to not have someone like that who can just go get you a quick 2 points from inside the low post, that's not the greatest break, and especially since Iowa's also going to be shooting free throws here.
1 and 1 coming for, 2 shots actually. I was confused. How does that lead to 2 shots if it was they just got into the bonus and it was a foul on the floor?
It might be just a different rule set. I don't know.
All right. Well, Kendall Dudley checks in for the fouled out Sofocanic. Reminder, Dudley does have 4 herself. 51-41. Iowa leads after the made free throw. 2:10 left on the clock. Olivia Olson gets it in the corner, fires up a three, it's short. Rebound hauled in by Stolke. She will hold it for Chit Chat Wright. Wright is able to get past Corals Daniels, bring it across half court, under 2 minutes to play now. Wright on the wing, swings it across the court. Stremlow feeds it inside. Stolke right back out to Stremlow. Will get a screen from her teammate. Driving towards the free throw line, now pulls it out. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Puts up a three. Oh boy! Taylor Stremlow wasn't even a starter to start the season, but boy has she been a significant player tonight. 11 points for the Hawkeyes. Iowa leads 54-41. 1:20 left on the clock. Kim Barnes-Arico going to call a timeout.
And the crowd is electric after that three, that call. No field goals for Michigan in the last three. Iowa's really pulling away, and that's been Stremlow, it's been Stolke that have really driven this train to the station here in Indianapolis. And what a game. What a fourth quarter from both of them. You know, Stolke hadn't really made any noise. She comes in, gets 8 points. Stremlow, you know, two really impactful threes. That has been, they have had an incredible fourth compared to Michigan, who's only gotten 7 shots up and only made 1 of them. And again, it's also been forcing turnovers, you know, not committing, you know, kind of, you know, both teams have committed 5 fouls this quarter, but really holding the floodgates off until right near the end.
Sideline inbound for Michigan after the timeout. They get it to Olivia Olson, skips it across the court. Opposite wing, Silas Swords puts up a three off 1 foot. Can't finish. Kendall Dudley hauls in the rebound, will get fouled on the floor. It'll be 1-1 for Kendall Dudley at the line after the foul on Stolke. Dudley had 10 points last night against Oregon. Actually went scoreless against Iowa last time they played in 19 minutes of play. She has 3 points tonight. First one, no good for Dudley, shooting just 31.6% from the line this season. Second one is good. Dudley 2 for 4 at the line tonight. 54-42 Iowa lead as the Hawkeyes are able to break the press. On the right wing, it's Feuerbach. Now Chit Chat right back to Feuerbach. She was open for the three, decides to hold it, work the clock. A minute remains in the game, 12 seconds on the shot clock. Chit Chat Wright swings it. Hawkeyes working around the arc. Feuerbach has it on the wing, tried to get it inside, bounces through the legs of Hayden, goes to Stolke, who goes up, finishes, and gets fouled. Everything's coming to the Hawkeyes right now, Andrew.
Yeah, a bit of deja vu. This is actually the exact same script as the previous matchup. You know, a really physical matchup for 3 quarters, and then Iowa just opened the floodgates and has been on fire, scoring 21 points with the possibility of 22 here.
It's good. (57-42). Stolke with 13. Wright with 13. Michigan basketball. 40 seconds left. Silas Swords tried to feed it into Olivia Olson, over her head, out of bounds. It'll be Iowa basketball. And Andrew, you mentioned it being such a similar script. I mean, you can't say it any better. No field goals in the last 3 minutes, 35 seconds for Michigan. We mentioned at the end of the third quarter during the break how Iowa finished the game on a bit of a scoring run, and Hawkeyes break the press. Uncontested layup for Ava Hayden. 59-42, 33 seconds remain. Silas Swords, top of the key. Mila Holloway puts a three up, falling backwards. Off the back iron, doesn't fall. Rebound hauled in by Chit Chat Wright. Wolverines stay in the full court press, but it looks like that should do it. Shot clock is turned off as the Hawkeyes dribble it out. And it looks like Iowa will be getting a chance to take on the defending champs UCLA tomorrow on Championship Sunday as the clock trickles down. A final score from Gainbridge Fieldhouse of 59-42. Iowa wins, very similar to the 62-44 score just a couple weeks ago. 42 points, Michigan's lowest total of the season. The Wolverines average over 80 points a game, 85.2, so almost cut in half. How did Iowa get it done today, Andrew?
Well, first off, they played an incredibly gritty game throughout, and I mean, it really, again, ended pretty much the same way as that last one. You know, we got to mention, I mean, Michigan finished with shooting 28% from the field. In the fourth quarter, they only were able to get up 9 shots to Iowa's 15, and they only made one of them, and that was Macy Brown with 2 points there. And they really just locked in, shut down the stars for Michigan. Olivia Olson went 0 for 4, and Silas Swords 0 for 2. I mean, that's really how they finished this game off, was just Iowa playing incredibly, just lights out defense, forcing turnovers, and then Stolke, 11 points in that fourth quarter. Now, again, back-to-back games for Iowa where 4 players finished with over 10 points in the game. Just an incredible team effort on the offensive and defensive side. That's what won Iowa this game and got them the opportunity to play the undefeated in Big Ten play UCLA Bruins.
Michigan, no field goals in the last 4:16 of the game, 0 for its last 4. And for the Hawkeyes, be returning to the championship game for the first time since they won the whole thing in 2024. And Andrew, I think that they probably have the best shot of any team in the Big Ten to take on this UCLA squad. They match up pretty well, don't they?
Oh, 100%. Just size, physicality. You have an incredible center matchup tomorrow night. And, again, it's just both teams pass the ball a lot, have the ability to rebound the basketball, play. It's just, again, it's a battle of 2 squads that are similar but different. And it should be an incredibly exciting game that it's sad that we won't be able to cover it.
Yeah. That one will be at 2:15 tomorrow on CBS. We'll definitely be tuning in for WCBN, the next broadcast tomorrow. Michigan men's basketball taking on Michigan State from Chrysler on Senior Day. It'll be a big one. Michigan has a chance, if they win, to have the best record in Big Ten history out of any teams ever. They already, when beating Iowa earlier this week, have the most road wins out of any Big Ten team in conference history. They have a chance to have the best overall record. For Michigan women's basketball, projected to be a 2 seed right now in the tournament. After this loss, unsure what happens if they falter to the 3 line. Either way, they'll be hosting in the first round. WCBN will have coverage of that. Before we sign off here, what do you think Michigan has to do going into this tournament to make a deep run in March?
Well, first off, first they got to be hot. They got to be on fire. 2 games back-to-back where you could say Michigan had a poor shooting night. They just got to find their groove from deep, find their groove from inside. I mean, I thought they played an incredible defense for at least 3 quarters, and I think that gives them a great floor. But what takes this team to a possible Elite 8, maybe even a Final Four contender, is if their offense is on point. That's what really elevates them to be a team that we know they can be.
AP poll voters had Michigan at 8th in the nation, Iowa at 9th. Iowa took that personally. They beat Michigan when the Wolverines were ranked 6th. Iowa's 15th. Yet they did not get moved ahead of the Wolverines, and they made a statement today here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Final score, Iowa 59, Michigan 42. For WCBN Sports and Andrew Pipta, I am Jake Lancer. We will leave you how we always